So, Joshua has been leading the people throughout the promised land, clearing out those who God has promised to clear out with them. And then God has renewed that promise to them, and Joshua has dismissed the tribes to go take possession of the land. And it says, after he dismissed the Israelites, they went to take possession of the land, each with their own inheritance. The people served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him, who had seen all the great things the Lord had done. Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110, and they buried him in the land of his inheritance, at Timnath-Heres in the hill country of Ephraim, in the north of Mount Gash. And then after that whole generation of people had been gathered to their ancestors, or they died, another generation grew up who didn't know the Lord, nor what he had done for Israel, it says. And then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and they served the Baals, or the other gods, in the land around them. They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, in favour of the gods in the lands around them. And because of this, the Lord gave them into the hands of the raiders who plundered them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, whom they were no longer able to resist, because God had made that promise: as long as you keep my commands, I will take care of you and make you a great nation. And suddenly they stopped those commands, so God gave them into the hands of their enemies. It says, whenever Israel went out to fight, the hand of the Lord was against them to defeat them, just as he had sworn to them, and they were in great distress. And then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hands of these raiders. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but they prostituted themselves, or they were unfaithful to God with the gods of other nations, and they worshipped these other gods. So they quickly turned from their ways of their ancestors who had been obedient to God for all those years. And whenever the Lord raised up a judge for the Israelites, they listened to that judge, they obeyed that judge and lived in the way of God. As soon as that judge died, they turned back to their evil ways again, and they refused to give up their evil practices and their stubborn ways. So therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and he said, because this nation has violated the covenant I ordained for their ancestors and has not listened to me, I will no longer drive out before them any of the nations Joshua left when he died. I will use them to test Israel and see whether they will keep the way of the Lord and walk in it as their ancestors did. So the Lord allowed the nations to remain in the land. He did not drive them out as he once promised to Joshua. These are the nations, it says, the Lord left to test the Israelites, who were not experiencing any battle anymore, because the whole generation had died away. He did this to teach them, it says, the way of battle. The 5 rulers of the Philistines were left, the Canaanites, the Sidonians, the Hivites living among the Lebanon mountains. They were left to test the Israelites to see whether they would obey the Lord's commands, which he had given to their ancestors through Moses. So the Israelites lived among these nations, but they took their daughters in marriage, they gave their own daughters in marriage, and it says they served the nations